Good morning everyone, welcome back to the online class. So today video we are going to study about the grammar class 2. So everyone, in our lesson today teacher would love to teach you about unit 11 which is about modal verbs. Before we start, today teacher would like to review about the lesson which you studied. So in the previous video you studied about should, which we use it for talking about the advice. So when you want to give advice to someone, you can use the word should. So as we know that, we use modal verb should plus verb to talk about advice. Let's see some example below. Number 1, I failed the exam. So when you fail the exam, you should study hard. So you should study hard is the advice, right? So here we use the word should to talk about the advice. Number 2, I have sore throat. So the advice is you should take medicine, you should drink much water. 3, I have a long holiday. So if you have a long holiday, you probably need to have the vacation. So that's why you should go on a vacation, right? Okay, everyone, so these 3 sentences are talking about the advice. So again, when you want to give advice to someone, you can use the word should plus verb. It is about giving advice. And when you want to make it into the negative form, you can use the word should plus not plus verb or shouldn't plus verb. For example, 1, you are sick. You shouldn't go to Lisa's birthday party because you are sick, right? Number 2, you shouldn't go to bed too late. Yeah, so this is about the advice that's talking about the bad things would happen when you go to bed too late. Okay, everyone, so today teacher would like to teach you about the another modal, and our modal today teacher would love to talk about have to. So as we know the word have to, so have to is also one of the modals. Alright, so we use have or has to plus verb to talk about necessity. Teacher would like to explain you about the verb necessity. What is the meaning of necessity? So necessity is we refer to something that is needed to do, okay? And also that thing is really important. That thing is really necessary. Okay, so again, have or has to, as we know that have, we use with the subject I, you, we, they. And for the word has, we use with the subject such as he, she, it. Let's see the example together. 1, I have to study tonight. 2, she has to study tonight. Okay, so when you see this, I just want to give you the detail about this example. The first example, I have to study tonight. So this is really important that you have to study tonight because maybe tomorrow you may have the exam or the final exam, right? So that's why you have to study tonight. So tonight you need to review the lesson. It is really important for you to practice some of the exercises and also review the lesson by your own, right? So this is important and it is really necessary to study tonight. So that's why you can say, I have to study tonight. 2, she has to study tonight. So the difference is, it is about the word have and has. As what I told you already, has we use with the subject she, and have we use with the subject I, right? Okay, 3, I have to see doctor. So maybe you have this serious problem about your health, so that's why you need to go to see the doctor at the hospital, right? 4, he has to leave the work early today. So we don't know that the reason behind this, why he needs to leave early or why he has to leave early. The reason is maybe he has someone sick at home, maybe his children got sick or he needs to bring them to the hospital. So this is really important, this is really necessary that he needs to leave the work early, right? 5, they have to buy the movie ticket first. Okay, so every time you go to see the movie at the cinema, you have to buy the movie ticket, right? Okay, so all of these are about necessity or the thing that really important to do or the things that is needed to do. Okay? Alright everyone, so teacher would like to go to the also have to, but we use it in the negative form. Okay, so to form the negative form of the verb have to, we need the word don't and doesn't. Because the verb followed by don't and have to, right? As what you can see, the word have to, it always follows with the auxiliary verb. So that's why we need to use the word do or does in our sentence. And it is in the negative form, we just add not. Does, doesn't have to, or don't have to plus verb. Okay? Now, let's see the example together. 1. She doesn't have to study tonight. The reason that she doesn't have to study tonight is because tomorrow will be the holiday or tomorrow won't have the exam, right? Now 2, I don't have to feed the cat. So the reason behind this story is about, perhaps that somebody also at home and that cat also had a fit, right? Okay. Number 3, Emma doesn't have to send the letter to him. Perhaps in this situation, we have someone sent the letter to that person already. So that's why Emma doesn't have to send the letter to him. Okay? 4, they don't have to buy the movie ticket. Yeah, they don't have to buy the movie ticket. Perhaps the hall today is full. So maybe they can watch the movie and that's why they don't have to buy the movie ticket. 5, she doesn't have to go to work this morning. Perhaps this morning is the holiday or Sunday, so that's why she doesn't have to go to work. Alright, so everyone, so these are about the example that we use with the word don't have to or doesn't have to plus verb to talk about the something that is not necessity. Okay? So why I said like this? Because we use the word have to in here in a negative form, so it represents to the meaning of the something that is not important to do, right? So it is contrast with the positive form. So if we say the positive form like I have to study hard and I don't have to study hard, so it shows us about that two things that are different. Okay, so when you say I have to study hard, the meaning is studying is really important, right? And if I say I don't have to study hard, it means like studying is not important. Get it, everyone? Okay, so everyone, I just want to compare between should and have to. So the difference is should used to talk about advice and have to used to talk about necessity. Example, let's take a look at the example below. Number 1, I should tell her about what happened last night. Number 2, I have to tell her about what happened last night. So the difference in the two sentences is about the word should and have to. So actually, should, as we know that, we use it to talk about advice or give somebody the advice, right? And as what you see, I should tell her about what happened last night. It's a good idea to tell her. So that means like we can tell her or not, it's up to us, right? But it's a good idea to tell her. 2, I have to tell her about what happened last night. So this is really important to let her know, so she needs to know it. Perhaps that situation is just like in situation number 2, I have to tell her about what happened last night. It means like something that is happened unusual. And that's why that person have to tell her about that story, about what something happened last night. So it's really important to let her know, so she needs to know it. So if we compare the two sentences, we can find out like the word have to is stronger than the word should. Okay, because as we know that the word should is just give only advice, something that advice. When you give someone advice, as we know, advice sometimes that person who we give them the advice, sometimes they follow us and sometimes they don't follow us. So they have their choice to follow us or not, right? But for the word to, it is really important to do. It is really, really necessary. Okay? Again, everyone, between the word should and have to, the word have to is stronger than the word should. Should is used for advice, have to is used for necessity. Okay, everyone. So this is the end of the first video. See you in the second video.